Hello, it's the juggler. Right? Juggling the soul, juggling the body, and juggling the mind. All day, all the time. This juggle does not stop. Week 14, we're in the business now. It's time for prepping the peeps. So Moses, so like a worried father driving his child to college, dropping the do's and the don'ts, Moses is doing the same thing, trying to help the Israelites get their minds right. Okay, so now I love this. Let me share you a few good ones that I found. There are so many jewels in this week. You can check it out for yourself. Here's a good one I found. Celebrate the Passover for 7 days. Party hard, but keep it classy. Don't pervert justice. Don't accept bribes. Don't sacrifice flawed items like broken shit to Goodwill or expired food to the food banks. I had a bad chicken experience once with that, so that stuck out to me. Levitical priest, you are not allowed to have allotments or inheritances. God is both for you. So if you're a Levitical priest, or if you want to be, you got to give it all up. This one was kind of weird. It says, don't sacrifice your children in the fire. Okay, so back then, they literally would throw their children into a fire to sacrifice them. Nowadays, it's probably more metaphorical, like whatever fire is consuming you, whatever, depression or demons or whatever, don't sacrifice your children to them. It doesn't work out good for the kids. There are instructions this week on wives and firstborns. Lost and found is invented this week. Yeah, is Israelites lost and found. There's a weird rule, didn't quite understand it. It's called don't mix wool and linen. I don't know, maybe that makes for bad underwear. There are rules on rape and instructions on how to purge evil with death. Funny one. Last week, having a wet dream get you grounded for a day? Read that. It's funny. I got a kick out of that. Here's an important one, and they have to mention it. Bury your poop. Could you imagine 2 million people running around the desert just pooping everywhere? Nobody's burying nothing. Like, that rule is a good rule. Okay. There are also rules on male and female prostitutes. Check that out. Deuteronomy 24:1 is all the rules for divorces, or plenty of rules on divorces. Here's a good one, guys. Back in those days, if a woman kicked you in your Johnson, she got her hand lobbed off. So, right? It says this week, God is not a fan of dishonesty. It actually says that he hates it. So, keep that in mind. If you're a dishonest person, God's probably not a fan of you. So be honest. Now, if you fully, get it, fully, if you fully obey the Lord your God, your enemies will literally be defeated for you. Boom, done. If not, if you don't fully obey God, there are 2 pages of bad shit ready to drop on your head. So check it out. So if any of these bad things are happening to you in the 2 pages, it's probably because you're not doing right by God, and you should double check your shit. That's the Old Testament. The New Testament. Jesus feeds the masses. My Cash App and Venmo, I wanted to do a food truck for Jesus. I thought that would be a really cool idea. So that's what the Cash App and the Venmo is for. Just, God feeds the masses, Jesus feeds the masses. Something about feeding the masses sort of sits well with me, and I kind of wanted to do it. So if it's all laid on your heart to help with that, go for it. Information's in the description. Now, Jesus, it says here this week that I read, Jesus made a lot of disciples, and he sent them out everywhere. So you maybe could be one, and you won't know until you listen close. And if you are one, you better get right with your job, or you're going to keep doing his will over and over and over again, unbeknownst to you, and it'll kind of seem like hell. I know that for personal. Anyways, Jesus says there are plenty of souls to be saved, but not many trying to save souls. So there's vast opportunity in the job. Jesus talked with Moses and Elijah, okay? And a couple of the disciples were there. And then God chimed in, and it totally freaked out the disciples. And as I was reading this, I just remember Star Wars. Remember when Luke was talking to Obi-Wan and Yoda? Again, as you read, lots of things come into your head. Lots of things come into my head while I'm reading. Probably the ADHD. So, speaking of which, Jesus can and does read your thoughts as well as your heart. So, listen closely. If the truth insults you, if honesty, if the light, if truth insults you, Jesus is not in your heart. If the truth hurts you, that's where the healing starts. Okay? Jesus knows everything about you. He sees you when you poop. He wants to beat your demons more than you want to. So let him. Or don't. Whatever. It's your choice. Lastly, this week, the Lord's Prayer is more than enough. There's a cool story about a loaf of bread being begged for in the middle of the night. It has to do with like how you're supposed to pray. It's definitely worth Googling. Be relentless. With prayer, with love, be relentless. All right. That's it for the New Testament and the Old Testament. And now we do Proverbs of the Week. I thought it was going to be an earlier one this week, but I read one on the last day that was awesome. So, okay. Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment. Deceit is in the hearts of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy. That sounds nice, right? Who doesn't want a little bit of joy in their life? I know I do. And this week is even faster. I might be able to start TikToking these or something. I don't know. These are getting pretty quick. Love is not envious, boastful, proud, self-seeking, or easily angered. It does not dishonor others. It does not delight in evil, and it does not hold account past transgressions. It will keep no record of wrongdoing. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is truthful. Love is protective. Love is trusting. And love is persistent. Be persistent. Love does not lose hope. Love never fails. Week 14, we done. And I'm out.